Yo guys, Andrew here at Dad Verb. So I've made a lot of mistakes as a new dad. I'm still making mistakes and I'm gonna keep making them, but I wanted to share 7 in particular so that maybe it can help you. But one thing that's not a mistake is father figured. It's a course that we made for expectant dads to eliminate any confusion and become prepared for life with baby. It's all linked below. Check it out, share it, help guys prep for baby. Mistake number 1, buying new furniture. If you're wanting to upgrade to some nice new furniture, strongly consider exercising a little bit of patience there because there's a good chance that it might get destroyed. We got a brand new couch when we moved into our new home. We sold off our old couches, got a pottery barn, something or other. But honestly, after some major thrashing from our toddlers, it feels like really scratchy and pilly now. So just keep that in mind because your kids might do a number on any new furniture. I mean, if you want to like get like a new king size bed or whatever, it's fine. Like, do what you got to do. Don't like delay your comforts, but like if you're thinking about like new carpets or new couches or something, you might want to hold off a little if you want it to stay nice and new. Wait for your kids to be just a little bit older. Mistake number 2, overthinking milestones and comparing achievements. So the milestones were recently updated by the CDC and the AAP, which I'm not gonna dive into that. I just wanna say that every baby develops at different paces. And I found myself constantly trying to gauge my kids and see if they were, are they above average? Are they not? I would low-key like puff myself up if they were ahead of the curve. And I was like, hey, they got a 10 on the APGAR score. They're doing this way ahead. Like they're going to Harvard. I know this, I'm great. But then I would also like bring myself down if they were behind on a couple of things, right? And I know I'm not alone on that. Like there's always like this thing with parents where they're just like, how are my kids doing? Calm down a little bit, right? Comparison is a thief of joy and milestones shouldn't be discouraging to you. If your kids aren't eating as much as your favorite influencers' kids, don't think that there's like something wrong, right? Your kids are speech delayed, right? And when they talk, they sound like a garbled mess, but your friends' kids sound like the second coming of Darwin, right? And you start to think like, damn it, those love every boxes, they're not doing the trick. What am I doing wrong? So like, I wish I could have told myself this before, when things were starting out. Just relax, right? And keep the big picture in mind because years down the line, your kids can still grow up to be good adults, or they could be adults who make horrible choices, but regardless, it's not because they were unable to do XYZ at 9 months, right? So stop overthinking the tiniest details in those early months. Stop puffing yourself up or bringing yourself down because of baby's milestones. They're a loose guide. If your pediatrician isn't worried, then don't worry about it, right? Don't jump ahead of the curve and start looking for specialists to fix problems that don't need fixing yet. Now, I'm not saying like avoid the signs of autism. If you're concerned, inquire about ways to help your little one along. Please don't like hear what I'm not saying. I'm not saying ignore the milestones that were set and just like forget about them, right? Like, of course, like they're a loose guide, and if you're curious about things, sure, inquire about it, but if they're a little bit behind, give yourself a break, stop overthinking the milestones and comparing your kids to others. Mistake number 3, shorting myself on wipes way too often. Wipes are the Swiss Army knife for parents of babies and toddlers. They need to be everywhere, in your car, your diaper bag, your master bedroom, your living room, the kitchen, everywhere. Diaper change in the car, wipes. Messy face at the restaurant, wipes. Muddy hands and knees in the backyard. Hold on, come. Yeah, that's not mud. That's feces. Wipes or hose. Maybe just use a hose for that one. Too many times I found myself scrambling to find wipes when I needed it for kids or to wipe something down. Luckily, we have friends with similar age kids they've been able to help us out in a pinch, but wipes are always needed and they're probably the most valuable thing in a diaper bag. So if you're ever running low, make it a priority to stay stocked because you can go from, we have a little bit left, to nothing very quickly. So wipes. Mistake number 4, I stopped dating my wife. Now, I made a whole video on this years ago, but one thing about me is that I prioritize my marriage over my kids. Now, for a time, we lived the inverse of that, and it definitely took a toll. So much time and focus only on the baby is very much understandable and a little bit mandatory, but my belief is that your marriage or your partnership, right, is the foundation of your family tree. Those are the roots of your tree. No matter how much the leaves or the branches sway, your leaves and branches being your kids in this analogy, right? No matter what they're throwing at you, the tree is not going anywhere because the marriage, the roots of the family tree are strong. Whereas by living the inverse, where you prioritize your kids and you abandon the roots, right, it could affect your marriage and inevitably wear you to a dangerous level. And there's a trickle-down effect where that eventually hurts your little one. You get so worn down, you get so touched out by your kids, and it impairs your ability to parent effectively. You get to this point where just like, marriage sucks, the kids are just annoying me. And the family tree that you're trying to grow, it has weak roots because you've only focused on them. You kind of abandon the marriage. I would implore you guys, right, especially communicate with her. Don't stop dating your wife and make sure that your marriage remains the priority. Of course, the kids they're always gonna be important. I'm not saying your kids aren't important, but I'm saying your marriage should not be forgotten. Date your wife. I'm telling you now, it's super easy to forget that in those early months, but just keep that in mind, guys. Mistake number 5, heating bottles in a microwave. So I got roasted for this years back when I vlogged myself doing this, and it was because this is something that I genuinely didn't know. Seemingly everyone else did know this, but I didn't. Here's what I learned. First is uneven heating. Because it heats from the inside out, the center can be searing hot but cold on the outside, so it can be deceptive to a parent. But really, that's a problem that can be solved by just swirling the bottle for a moment. Second, if you accidentally overheat the bottle, you can scald your baby's mouth. We never really heated it for more than 10-15 seconds, so that wasn't really an issue, but it doesn't matter though, because concerned parents of the ether will slam you for being a horrific example of parenting, and then they're gonna cite reason number 3. Microwaving can deteriorate the nutritional and the immunological values of breast milk and formula, as well as potentially having the plastic from the bottles seep into the milk at a micro level. Now, I get it, microwaving is fast and your baby is hungry now. You're not gonna like wait for the bottle to warm up under a faucet or in a bowl of water while your baby is screaming this moment. Like, I've been there, it's not fun. So my suggestion would be to get a simple bottle warmer or even a portable one. I have a couple links for you down below. Mistake number 6, resisting hand-me-downs. I don't know why, but I was much more receptive of the idea to secondhand things with our second baby and super opposed to it with our first. Everything had to be brand new with our first baby. And really that cost me because having a baby is expensive. And the opportunity to get a stroller or clothes at a lower price or for free if that's available, you should take it. It doesn't have to be new. Now, I get into this in our father figure course, but there are a couple things that you do wanna buy new, mainly car seats for safety reasons, that you should buy new, but other things like a Mamaroo swing or an infant optics baby monitor, I don't know, stuff like that. Take it for cheap if you can find it. Knowing how these things are used, they're probably in great condition and there's no real reason to, skip on those offerings other than the assurance of a new product. Mistake number 7, listening to too many influencers, adverb included. If you rely on the word of too many strangers, you might get caught in the middle and feel overwhelmed, and it might lead to shame or guilt because you're comparing yourself to their experiences, their expectations, their standards. And the reality is the world of parenting influencers is a zero-sum game. For example, if you co-sleep, you're irresponsible. You're gonna kill your baby. You're going against every guideline that was ever crafted by doctors the world over to keep babies safe. Just because it was done in the past doesn't mean it's right.
I walk a higher path, son.
If you don't co-sleep, you're selfish. You defy the very definition of being a compassionate human. It goes against how we evolved as a species for millennia. Co-sleeping is natural, not to be meddled with by bureaucratic medical boards.
I'm out.
How are you supposed to move forward when you're hearing both sides like that on social? Either way, you're gonna start doubting yourself. I fell into that trap. Am I supposed to go by the research or by my gut because what's being told to me isn't working and it doesn't necessarily align with what I think I should be? At some point, you just gotta do what works for you and not what works for them. Either way, I think you're gonna be a great parent to great kids. So those are my 7 mistakes. Add to the list, what mistakes have you made? I wanna hear them. Share them down below. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button down there. It looks like a thumbs up. For more videos and reviews for new parents, please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel. Thanks for watching this video and come back for the next one. God bless. Later.